Thanks for staying with us. So in a desperate bid to curb insecurity in Niger State, Governor Mohammed Bago has directed security operatives to arrest, barb the hair for individuals who have dreadlocks in the state. Now, this extracted statement has reawakened the discussion of identity and appearance profiling, and the whole of social media obviously is going on and on about the governor's directive. But we'd like to hear your thoughts on it, because the government of Niger State have also come out to give a bit of context to what happened or what caused the governor to make that sort of a directive. However, we'd like to hear your views on this conversation. You can call us on 020-163-52013, 090-241-63440. You can also send us messages on X and also on YouTube. We'll be happy to read your thoughts. All right, so to give it a bit of context, let me just read the first paragraph of the message from the government of Niger State. So according to, I think this was written by the media. Let me see who addressed this. I'm trying to get the name of the person. Once I get the name, I'll send it back to you. But what I have here is, for quite some time now, Minna has been plagued by thuggery and lawlessness. Incidents involving criminal groups have become an all too frequent part of life in the state, making the issue a persistent and growing concern. One of such groups is the Niger Govt. The group can mostly be identified by symbols like dreadlocks, bleached skin, and forehead markings.
Case dismissed.
Now, so it was in that context that the governor made those comments. So now let's watch the governor's comments.
To rascality in Minna. Anybody that you find with barber or dreadlock, arrest him, barb his hair, and find him. Nobody should carry any kind of hair record again inside Minna. I have given you marching order, the security agencies. Anybody you find with a weapon, deal with him as an armed robber.
So that is the context. Now, we've said that drastic measures or drastic issues demand drastic, but what are your thoughts on this? Because when that video went viral, let's start from when the video went viral, how it was extracted and how it was received by Nigerians. Who would like to go first?
Okay, so context is king. That's a quote, that's a saying, and that is to show that, you know, it's very important to understand the surrounding circumstances, you know, or background information about anything. Of course, without the context that you've just read to us, when we saw that, I'm sorry, Governor of Niger State, the first thing I thought, I said, Oga, see you with your full bearded gang. You, not you. Do you understand? For me, I just thought, that look already, you are part of them now, the fashionable dreadlock guys and things like that. But I can't even say much any further what I had thought initially, because this context just clears everything. Because what I now hear the governor saying is that we have picked this particular, we have profiled these people particularly because of the way that they look, most of them. There's a cult that has been causing a lot of issues for us in Niger State. Lawlessness, and we know that you can identify them by the dreadlocks that they wear, the fact that they bleach their skin, and some markings. And I mean, it just makes sense that he says when his skin, we don't know what he's not bleaching, but he doesn't have. But he's not bleaching. He doesn't have dread. He doesn't have dreadlocks, and he did not say anything about beard. He just said dreadlocks. If you see people with dreadlocks, and for him, it's like that is profile. They'll profile you, and then a word to the wise. For those of you that are not part of this cult, this is something that we're using to profile them. Don't be part of them. Don't fall into. Be careful so that you're not mistaken for one of these cult members, and then you end up in big trouble. Because once we see you with dreadlocks, before we start asking questions, we'll assume you're part of this. Yes, we'll assume you're part of this Niger cult that's been causing all sorts of problems for us.
So let me throw a spanner in that wheel, because now doesn't that infringe on the rights of a young man who wants to have dreadlocks? Yes, so the Niger State is saying, I have profiled these people like this. If you see them, arrest them and shave off. But the young kid who is in university and just says, I want to lock my hair.
Yeah.
How does that then affect that person?
It actually does infringe of the human rights of the people, right? And in the first instance, when I saw the video, the first thing that came to my mind is, which generation is this man living in? We have children these days who want to lock their hair, paint, men, boys, so paint their nails, you know, dress a certain way, more feminine. In fact, when you go for events these days, you can't even tell who's a woman and who's a man. The men are wearing the silks. I'm not joking. They are wearing the silks. They are wearing the floral. They are looking all girly.
Eyebrows are shaped.
Yes, shaped. And some even wear lashes. And these people I know personally. Yes, see. These people I know personally, they are not even gay. It's just an expression. Yes. They're just expressing. They want to express in that way. All these artistic people, they're full everywhere. I don't know how Minna is. I haven't been to the States. I don't know how enlightened they are. I don't know how entertaining and how much of entertainment they have
from the Niger State.
I don't know how
they're very close to Abuja. So
so they will have people in those places who express themselves that way. So I felt like this governor is not living in recent times. But now looking at the context of we have identified these people, these Oya cult people, this is what we know them for, this is what we know them for. And I understand that it will infringe on the rights of every other citizen there who finally catches himself doing one of those things. But we have always said that we must tailor our solutions to our people.
Our peculiarities, yes.
Yeah. So because everybody's talking about freedom, rights, fundamental human rights in the Obodo Igbo, or even in a place like Lagos, in Minna, it can be applied differently because you understand your people. Now, my advice to those people who probably have children, young people in the university who are keeping those things, to say, this is the new law now. We are trying to fish out the criminal element, and I will not want you to get into the crosshairs. Brother, cut this your hair.
Let me come to you.
Okay, so the first, when I saw the video, the first thing that came to my mind was like, first of all, I wanted to count the number of mics that were in front of him as he was talking. And I was like, if I was there, I would just remove that mic from there because why are you talking about somebody's dreads? How does that affect? You know, we elected you there to make decisions. Come and tell us, we've constructed this road to this side, you know, we've built hospital in this place. I know how is dreadlock going to affect this thing. And then at the end of the day, he also said that if they catch you, they are going to fine you. And I'm wondering, is that a way of, you know, looking for revenue for the state? How much is the money? What are you going to use the money to do and all? So, but reading from this perspective now that they are trying to get people, they want to get people in this cult and everything. Now I can now understand why he made that law and all of that.
There was the
right course.
So this message I read about was from Usman Ebo. Usman Ebo, he's a special advisor to the governor, digital media and strategy. So it was him that I'm quoting that sent this context. Furthermore, let me just say another. I'll read the second paragraph. It says, despite repeated arrests, new members of this cult continue to emerge, creating a constant influx that undermines public safety. The government cannot afford to remain passive while the security of innocent citizens is at risk. Therefore, it is imperative to take firm and targeted action to restore peace and order to Minna. So, as BC has said, we understand the context. However, I'm still concerned
about innocent
people whose regular lives can be. I mean, even colleagues in schools can start bullying each other. Just you that you have dreads, start bullying, suspecting cult members within their own community. So we have to be very careful when somebody makes a directive. Someone like that makes a directive that is not backed by law. It's something we have to be very, very careful about.
Okay.
Go ahead, BC.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to say that while this is something that they can use in the short term, because he has come up with it and he feels, okay, this is one of the ways that we can catch these people and solve the issue of cultism in our state, it is not a long-term solution. It's not even a solution that will go past a couple of months, right? He should be more proactive to think of long-lasting solutions and not profiling people wrongly. Because we are going to keep having children. The children will keep going to schools. They will keep meeting people. They will keep finding ways of expression. Now that you have announced dreadlock, a cultist can choose to shave off the hair, wear suits. It doesn't change him from being a cultist. We hear now that native doctors carry laptop, wear suits, speak good English. You will not know that Queen's English. You will not know that the person is a native doctor. So there's this proverb in one of our literature books. Since Aneke the bird since the hunter has learned how to shoot without stopping. I, Aneke the bird, we fly without perching. So they can change their modality to say, okay, they've spotted that. You know how we profile Yahoo boys? They always wear slides, wear stockings. Anywhere you see somebody wear slide and stocking, you just wear. So when my kids wear slide and stocking, I said, do you want to do Yahoo? Please, then we profile you like that. You know, a lot of them now don't wear socks and slides.
My own was a Bolu, my videographer. He was in a car with my driver and I think my PA. The three of them were in the vehicle. So they saw the vehicle, they saw the press. You know, he has his hair that is So they saw press, so they just allowed them to pass. But the other police spotted there's a Yahoo boy there. He stopped the vehicle and told him to come down. They were like, no, it's press. I said, this one has a Yahoo feed. So he was carrying a laptop. He started dismantling, trying to rumple him up and get all his stuff. They took his laptop and they started seizing his stuff. They had to call me. So I had to tell them who I was and show that. Now, unfortunately, my ID card was not in the car. So I had to explain to them. But they didn't answer. They said they had to take this boy to the police station because he is a Yahoo boy.
A poor boy.
Just as a kid. He had a bit of a the big pump on hair and had the...
So that's what's going to happen if they don't find more ways. What's going to happen to getting data of the people in your state? So everybody somewhat is registered. Everybody when you're going to carry your ID card, whether you're a student, those are some ways that you don't profile the wrong people. There are a lot of people who have been profiled as Yahoo that are not Yahoo. If a boy, you wear gold, they catch you on the road, they're gone.
Exactly.
So this is like an emotional reaction.
Okay, so that's where I was going to go. So for the first wave of conversation, for me, it was an understanding of the context. I get it, and I get where he was coming from. But whether we like it or not, it was more a reaction to get his people excited. This is not the Constitution. We're not sitting there in your State House of Assembly and thinking, we're not putting down laws because it has to be constitutional. If you arrest somebody, especially arrest the wrong person, they will sue you. Do you understand? People that have influence and power. It's people that don't have power or influence that you can just pick off the streets and lock them up because they look like a certain group of people. The way to handle things like this, you have to go beyond profiling. So for me, I can understand the message saying, we are profiling this set of people. So parents, if you have children that are
if they
fit the profile, let them know that there's something that, while investigating, police will look at. Maybe the first thing they look at is, how you look. That's the different message. But to go on to solve this issue, it has to go beyond profiling. As BC mentioned, it makes no sense because as a criminal, why I'm a criminal is to, there are benefits for my criminality. How I look does not affect what I'm trying to benefit. Change up your look and still be the criminal that you want to be. So for a lot of people, we know how young people especially are just influenced by what is trending. They don't quite get it. I know in America, they talk about Black Americans sagging. And it's something that prisoners do because they will give them uniforms that some may not really fit. And so they sag it so that it's a bit long. And Black Americans or it has become like an American culture to show that you're cool. So the governor has to understand that there are people who are picking up trends, not because they are criminal, but because it's what's in fashion. And you end up maybe arresting the whole of the state because of that. So what he needs to do and what the police then need to do is go beyond this profiling. Proper investigation, find out where they stay, the sort of people that are likely to be in things like that, where they stay, the criminals themselves. We have, I'm so worried truly of especially how Nigerian police can be. So it's not that, we profiled you, you look like this person, so we have taken you to question you. No, they start assaulting you sometimes, even before they ask you beyond how you look.
Let me go on a very short break. When I come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.